Number 3. Prentis Robinson. On February 26, 2018, 55-year-old Prentis Robinson went to the Wingate Police Department in Charlotte, North Carolina, and talked to the police chief about his stolen cell phone. After he left the police station, he started a Facebook Live session. Robinson used Facebook Live daily. He sometimes performed music, and other times he talked. Prentis Robinson had lived in North Carolina for most of his life. He had 8 siblings, and he graduated from a high school in the area. Robinson had spent time in prison for cocaine charges in the late 1990s. As Robinson walked about 5.5 minutes into his live stream, he was startled by someone off-screen. Robinson shouted to the person, "You on live, you on live." Then a man wearing blue jeans, brown Timberland-style boots, and a black and blue windbreaker appears briefly on the screen. Suddenly, 4 shots ring out. Then the device falls to the ground, with the camera facing up towards the sky. The shooter appears as he steps over the device. Then it streams some treetops and the sky. 55-year-old Prentis Robinson was found dead a short time later. He had been hit with all 4 bullets. After the murder, Facebook removed the video of the shooting. In a statement, a spokesperson for the social media company said, "This is a terrible incident, and our thoughts are with the victim and his loved ones. Because we could not have known that the victim would have wanted this horrific act to be live streamed on social media, we have removed the original video." One of Robinson's friends told the police that Robinson would record illegal activity, such as drug deals, on his phone, and this possibly made him a target. Robinson thought that doing this would help clean up the area. The police quickly developed a suspect, 65-year-old Douglas Cleveland Colson. Colson was a lifelong Wingate resident and had been arrested before. In 1998, he was arrested for driving while impaired. 12 years later, he was charged with selling cocaine. Hours after the shooting, the police questioned Douglas Colson. However, he was not charged with anything and he was released after a few hours. The police continued to investigate. They learned that Robinson and Colson had known each other for decades, and there had been animosity between the 2 men for a long time. A woman Robinson had dated as a teenager later married Colson. A week before the murder, Robinson posted a video on Facebook ridiculing Colson. He said, "Doug, all I say to you is, die and go to hell. You gonna burn in hell. You burning so bad, inside your skin is turning darker every year." He also accused Colson of selling drugs, but then snitching on young men who also sold drugs. Robinson also said that a month earlier, he had heard that Colson was spreading lies about him, like he mistreated his mother. He called Colson a disgrace to the human race and threatened to beat him up again. After their short investigation, the police issued a warrant for Douglas Colson, charging him with first-degree murder. The day after the deadly shooting, Colson turned himself in. In 2020, Colson was convicted of manslaughter. He was sentenced to 9 years and 5 months of prison. He'll be released in February 2025 if he's not paroled early. At the time of this video, 71-year-old Douglas Colson is serving his sentence at the Davidson Correctional Center in Lexington, North Carolina. Number 2. Brittany Southwell. On November 6, 2016, 26-year-old Brittany Southwell was at home in Jackson, Michigan. She lived with her 3 children, her fiancé Tyler McCarvey, and his family. Southwell was a homemaker. That night, Southwell's sister, Amber Uphold, and her friend Noah Gunter were staying at the house. Southwell and McCarvey were in a bedroom in the basement with their 10-month-old son. Uphold and Gunter were in the living room on the main floor. Uphold saw a white SUV pull into the driveway. She saw 2 women get out of the vehicle and recognized both. One was Noah Gunter's ex-girlfriend, Ashley Boardman, and the other was Gunter's brother's girlfriend. Uphold immediately sensed that there was going to be trouble. There had been drama between Boardman and Gunter. Also, Gunter had been feuding with his brother, Anthony Gallia, on Facebook. Uphold told Gunter they needed to get into the basement. Then there was banging on the door. This drew Tyler McCarvey out of his bedroom. Uphold and Gunter ran past him. Then a man with a gun came into the basement and started firing at McCarvey. McCarvey had never seen the man before. McCarvey got back into his bedroom and closed the door. The man continued to fire into the door. In total, 8 bullets were fired. McCarvey picked up the phone and called 911. McCarvey was not shot. But as he was on the phone with 911, he saw that his 26-year-old fiancée, Brittany Southwell, was in a pool of blood. She had been holding their 10-month-old son. Southwell had been shot in the right side of her torso. The bullet went through her rib, her right lung, and pierced her spine. McCarvey held her and screamed, "Don't leave me." 26-year-old Brittany Southwell was pronounced dead an hour after arriving at the hospital. No one else in the house was shot. The police then started looking for the white SUV. They located it about 30 minutes after the shooting, and they pulled it over. The 2 women got out of the vehicle and told the police that 19-year-old Anthony Gallia was in the SUV and he was holding a gun to his head. The police were able to convince Gallia to put the gun down and step out of the vehicle. He was then arrested. Gallia was given a breathalyzer and his blood alcohol level was 0.09, which is slightly above Michigan's legal limit for driving, which is 0.08. The police also recovered a gun, which had been stolen, and the serial numbers had been filed off. Later, ballistic testing determined it was the murder weapon. The police pieced together what happened that night based on statements from Gallia, his girlfriend, Ashley Boardman, and Gallia's Facebook Live video. Gallia started his night at Boardman's apartment. Gallia, his girlfriend, and Boardman went to a store where Boardman bought alcohol. Gallia was 19 and he was not legally allowed to purchase alcohol. Boardman was in her mid-20s. A short time later, they returned to the store and purchased more alcohol. Then they went to a tanning salon where Boardman went inside and tanned for a bit. While she was inside, Gallia drank and started a Facebook Live session. During the live stream, a traffic stop was going on behind the SUV. Gallia said that he smells bacon. He then says he could, quote, blast that cop in the back of the head, unquote. He then pulls out a gun and aims it at the camera while laughing. Gallia's girlfriend, who is in the SUV but off-screen, keeps telling him to stop. Gallia ignores her and keeps ranting and acting tough while drinking. Before leaving the tanning salon, Gallia exited the vehicle and continued to live stream. Boardman told Gallia he knew where his brother, Noah Gunter, was and that they should go see him. At the time, Gallia was angry with his brother because his brother had threatened him on Facebook. Before getting back into the SUV, Gallia fired a shot into the air. The live stream continued as they drove to Tyler McCarvey and Brittany Southwell's house, where Gallia's brother was staying. Gallia kept the live stream going when he knocked on the door and then kicked it open. Meanwhile, his girlfriend screams at him to stop and return to the vehicle. After kicking the door open, Gallia repeatedly yells, quote, "What's up?" unquote. While inside the house, the video is shaky and it goes dark, but you can hear gunshots and screaming. After firing the gun 8 times, Gallia shows his face and yells, quote, "Who the real motherfucking this bitch?" unquote. As he flees the house, while laughing, he yells, quote, "Who's crazy? Who's crazy?" unquote. He then yells, quote, "See me in the Aryan Brotherhood in prison," unquote. Shortly after that, the 25-minute-long live stream ends. Gallia had gone to the house looking for his brother. The woman he murdered, Brittany Southwell, was a stranger to him. Galea told the police that he was drinking and taking Xanax that night. He said, quote, "I didn't want to hurt anyone. I went live on Facebook. I'm dumb. I'm not a Jackson piece of trash," unquote. Galea said that he never intended to kill the mother of three. He did not know she was behind the door when he was shooting. Galea was charged with open murder, home invasion, and firearms possession. Open murder means that the jury could consider first-degree or second-degree murder. Anthony Galea went to trial in March 2018. Galea's lawyer argued that he should be found guilty of manslaughter because he didn't know that Southwell was behind the door. His lawyer also said that Ashley Boardman should share some of the responsibility for the deadly home invasion. His lawyer argued that Boardman wound up Galea, and this led to the shooting. Galea told the police that Boardman was obsessed with his brother. Boardman was also the one who bought Galea the alcohol. Galea's girlfriend told the police that she saw Boardman slip a Xanax into Galea's drink. Finally, Boardman is the one who figured out where Noah Gunter was staying and told Galea about it. Boardman was not charged in connection with the shooting. The prosecution showed the jury the 25-minute-long live stream. The trial lasted 5 days, and then the jury deliberated for 3.5 hours. Galea was found not guilty of premeditated murder, but he was convicted of first-degree felony murder, first-degree home invasion, and felony firearms possession. The jury agreed with the prosecution that Galea went into the house intending to kill someone. Galea was sentenced to life without parole for the murder, 14 to 20 years for the home invasion, and 2 years for the firearm offense. At a sentencing hearing, Galea said, quote, "I never meant to hurt anyone. I deserve to do this time," unquote. However, he did appeal twice, once in 2020 and again in 2023. In 2020, he said that his punishment was cruel and unusual punishment. Both of his appeals were denied. At the time of this video, 26-year-old Anthony Galea is incarcerated at the Macomb Correctional Facility in Lenox Township, Michigan. Number 1. The Jacksonville Landing Shooting. In downtown Jacksonville, Florida, is a festival marketplace called Jacksonville Landing. In the marketplace was a bar and restaurant called Chicago Pizza. Chicago Pizza had a gaming lounge in the back corner called the GLHF Game Bar. GLHF stands for Good Luck, Have Fun. On August 26, 2018, the lounge was hosting a Madden 19 video game tournament. Up for grabs was $5,000 and a spot at the Madden Classic, a national tournament for the best Madden players held annually in Las Vegas, Nevada. The football video game tournament had drawn a lot of professional gamers. The tournament was being live streamed on Twitch. At 1:30 p.m., Elijah Clayton, who played under the usernames TrueBoy and True, was playing at the main console next to the commentator's desk. 22-year-old Clayton was from Woodland Hills, California. He had been playing Madden games since he was 5 years old. Family members said he was saving up for college with his esports winnings. As he was playing, people watching the live stream noticed a red laser dot scatter over his chest. It momentarily disappeared and then seemed to steady over his heart. Clayton and his opponent's screen disappeared from the live stream. Suddenly, gunshots broke out and people started screaming. Then the video stream cut out, but the audio remained. People could hear more gunshots, screaming, and glass shattering. In the game lounge, people tried to flee and others tried to hide. 11 shots were fired at the crowd, and then the gunman turned the gun on himself. 911 was called, and first responders were there in less than 2 minutes. In the end, 3 people were killed and 11 people were injured. One of the 11 people who were injured was hurt in the stampede to get out the doors. The first person who was shot and seen to be targeted, 22-year-old Elijah Clayton, died at the scene. Another person who died at the scene was 27-year-old Taylor Robinson from Ballard, West Virginia. He was a professional gamer known by the alias Spot Me Please. He had won over $80,000 in prize money playing esports. A year earlier, he had won the Madden Classic. He was married and a father, and he was considered soft-spoken. The third person who died was the shooter, 24-year-old David Katz from Baltimore, Maryland. Katz was in the upper ranks of Madden in the United States, and in 2017, he won $10,000 at a tournament. According to records, as a preteen, Katz's behavior was erratic. Throughout his teen years, the police were called to his family's home several times over domestic disputes. He constantly fought with his mother. In April 2005, when he was just 11, his mother wanted him to get mental health counseling. Katz refused to go, so his mother called the police. After the police came, Katz agreed to go to counseling. In 2007, Katz's parents got divorced. In the records from the divorce, Katz's father's lawyer talks about the incident and said that Katz was, quote, faced with the prospect of being put in handcuffs by the police. Instead of going to school, David was placed in a psychiatric daycare program, unquote. In December 2006, the day after Katz's 13th birthday, Katz's mother called the police because they had argued over the volume of the television. His mother also complained that Katz had a general lack of disrespect for her and his grandmother. Exactly a year later, Katz called the police. He complained that his mother was being unfair and that his mother was constantly punishing him by taking away his video games. According to his parents' divorce records, Katz's father did not want his son to be put on antidepressants because he maintained that they gave young people suicidal thoughts. His mother wanted him to undergo a mental evaluation. Once again, his father disagreed. He wanted his son to attend a mental health facility that specializes in children and teens in Columbia, Maryland. But David Katz refused to get any treatment. The records also indicate that David, quote, had an extremely strong negative reaction both to Mrs. Katz taking David Katz to various mental health care professionals and Mrs. Katz giving him psychiatric drugs, unquote. However, in 2011, Katz was treated for mental health issues. His mother said he was suffering from depression and other affective disorders. Katz was also put on antipsychotic medication used to treat schizophrenia. His father once again objected to the treatment. He said his son was, quote, well aware of reality at all times, unquote. In high school, Katz's peers remembered him as quiet and reserved, bordering on antisocial. However, no one thought he was capable of murder. After high school, Katz enrolled at the University of Maryland, but he did not complete his degree. Katz was a talented gamer and participated in many esports tournaments. Katz, who went by the tag Bread, was one of the highest-ranked Madden players in the US. However, e-gaming could bring out Katz's dark side. In a 2017 video interview with an EA Sports announcer, Katz sounded like he, quote, carried a chip on his shoulder, unquote, when he seeded 7th in the Madden tournament. Katz said, quote, I don't think of myself as a 7th seed, I think I'm one of the better players, unquote. Katz ended up winning that tournament. For the tournament in August 2016, where he murdered 2 people, Katz drove 11 hours from Baltimore to Jacksonville. He brought very little with him, not even a change of clothes. According to other players, Katz was acting strangely during the tournament. He kept his sunglasses on and didn't talk to many people. On the first day of the competition, he won 2 out of the 3 games of pool play. He lost to Dennis Alston, aka Evil Ken, and after the game, Alston offered him his hand. Katz refused to shake his hand. Instead, he glowered at Alston. Katz's father said that when his son stared at you, it was like he was looking right through you. The next day of the tournament, it was single elimination play. Katz was playing Reginald Brown. Katz lost once again, so he was out of the tournament. The game ended without any drama. 24-year-old David Katz then went out to his car and retrieved 2 handguns he purchased a month earlier. In the shooting, he used a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol with a laser sight. He kept the second gun in his waistband and never used it. It appeared that Katz was in control during the shooting, and he counted how many bullets he fired. He then used the last one on himself. The FBI investigated the shooting, and they did not determine an exact motive. But it turned out there had been a long-standing grudge between Katz and the first person he shot, Elijah Clayton. In one instance, Clayton took a book that Katz wrote for profit and posted it online for free. In another incident, both men were supposed to share a taxi after a tournament, but Clayton slammed the door on Katz and left without him. 7 months after the mass shooting, the scene of the crime, Chicago Pizza, was officially closed and the building was later demolished. That year, the Madden Classic was cancelled. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to check out our new channel, Paranormally Listed. There's a link on the screen now, and there's a link in the description box below this video. Well, that's all for today. Thanks again for watching.